may think you've seen everything The Boys has to offer, from the over-the-top violence to the ruthless satire, but buried beneath the chaos is a treasure trove of hidden details, Easter eggs, and blink and you'll miss it moments that add depth to this gritty superhero world, even one directly related to Breaking Bad. With the final season of The Boys set to hit the screens next year, we're going to be going back and revisiting every season, searching for the most fascinating, clever, and outrageous secrets. Today at Heroescope, we're diving straight into Season 1. Let's start with the most obvious. The very first thing that we see in the first episode is a mosaic of the Seven, and it's very clear from their positioning that they are a clear reference to the Justice League, down to the very pose. But it's not just that. Each of the characters in the Seven are a somewhat distorted version of the Justice League members. Homelander is Superman stripped off compassion. Maeve is Wonder Woman, hollowed out by disillusionment. A-Train is the Flash on a corporate high, powered by competition and Compound V. Black Noir stands silent in the corner like a shadowy Batman figure. But with all the brooding and none of the moral weight, and the deep of course, is meant to be Aquaman. Each character looks like a hero. That's the point. They only have to look like one. The Seven's very headquarters reinforces that idea. Their conference table, long and angular, places Homelander at the apex. The visual isn't just functional, it's symbolic. Unlike the round tables of Arthurian legends, or even DC's own Hall of Justice, which suggests equality among peers, this design says one thing clearly: hierarchy. It's not a team, it's a monarchy, and Homelander is the crown, and the comparisons don't stop there. Inside Madeline Stillwell's office, Homelander's promotional poster is more than just branding. It's a near-exact visual echo of the Superman posters from Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. The lighting, the pose, the stature, it's all there. But while Superman's image is aspirational, Homelander's version feels menacing. The power is the same. The intention is the opposite. This is The Boys at its most elegant, replicating the aesthetic of heroism while dismantling everything it represents. But the subtle comparison with DC is seemingly endless. Just take this next scene for example. That idea of performance peaks with the race between A-Train and Shockwave. The way the scene is made is definitely an homage to the famous Superman vs. Flash races. But this version is anything but noble. It's high stakes, commercially sponsored, and career defining. The winner gets to keep their endorsements. The loser disappears from relevance. It's not about speed. It's about survival in a media ecosystem that eats its own. Or how about one of the most important scenes in the season, where Homelander refuses to try to save a plane full of people. This is another clear comparison to the Man of Steel, who frequently saves planes, both in comics and on the big screen, whereas Homelander refuses to even try, mocking the physics. And this is what The Boys is truly about, taking known superhero things from the real world and completely twisting them, and it doesn't just stop with the heroes themselves. For example, in episode 1, we're introduced to a Vought film called G-Men, World War G, an obvious send-up of Marvel's X-Men series. Everything from the title structure to its cinematic flavor is engineered to mimic superhero movie trends. But instead of evoking awe, it evokes fatigue. This fictional film within the show highlights how quickly superhero media can shift from revolutionary to repetitive, from meaningful to mechanical. From that point forward, the show begins twisting the knife. Characters casually mention how people love a team-up, and how sequel after sequel is just the way things work now. These aren't just cynical throwaway lines. They're firebombs lobbed at the formulaic nature of cinematic universes. The dialogue pokes directly at how audiences have been trained to chase content cycles over genuine storytelling. The world doesn't care if your hero saves the day as long as they show up in the next crossover. Meanwhile, Vought's in-universe media machine parodies real-world news with surgical accuracy. Vought News, with its logo and cable-style presentation, mirrors Fox News down to the aesthetic grit. But it's not just satire, it's a warning. The same forces that sell soda and smartphones can sell you saviors, and they do it with slogans, lighting, and stage-managed rescues. You're not watching heroism, you're watching marketing. One of the most interesting Easter eggs in the series comes from the introduction of Mesmer, a washed-up child star who once had everything and now clings to fame through desperation and betrayal. What makes this so brilliant is the casting. Mesmer is played by Haley Joel Osment, who himself was a child star, best known for The Sixth Sense, and his inclusion adds a tragic layer of meta-commentary. The line between character and actor blurs. reflecting how fame, especially early fame, is as much as a curse as it is a gift. This is not the only Easter egg in the casting section, and the nods to the original comics are just as thoughtful. In the source material, the character of Huey was originally modeled after none other than Simon Pegg. However, by the time the comic book got a big screen adaptation, Simon Pegg got way too old to play Huey. So, Jack Quaid was cast instead. However, Simon Pegg was cast nevertheless, as Huey's father, and this is more than just fanservice, it's a closing loop. It grounds the series in its roots while acknowledging how far it has come. It's reverent without being reductive. An Easter egg which is super easy to miss comes from none other than Stan Edgar, played by Giancarlo Esposito, who, in a scene, talks about moving to Belize. This may seem like a super random line, but to Breaking Bad fans, this makes complete sense. In Breaking Bad, the character of Saul Goodman refers to the term moving to Belize as a term for getting whacked. And it's even cooler that the person who said the line is none other than Giancarlo Esposito, who plays Gustavo Fring in Breaking Bad. Billy Butcher's line about wanting an office in the Flatiron Building might feel like a throwaway, but it isn't. The Flatiron served as the boys' base in the comics, and it also famously appears in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man films as the Daily Bugle's HQ. That one building becomes a meta bridge between multiple superhero canons, acting as a landmark of everything the boys is simultaneously mocking and honoring. One of the show's more subtle references comes via Tech Knight. He is mentioned briefly in a support group. The character never appears on screen in Season 1, but his presence hangs in the air. In the comics, Tech Knight is a bizarre mashup of Iron Man's gear and Batman's compulsion, and the fans get to see him in the show only 3 seasons later. But this small blink and you'll miss it detail proves that the threads were being laid from the beginning, and it proves the depth the universe had from the start. And that's what makes The Boys so complex. It's not just blood and shock value. It's a meticulously crafted world where every line, every background detail, and every casting choice is loaded with deeper meaning. Season 1 isn't just a critique of superheroes. It's a blueprint for how to tear them down and rebuild something sharper. But if you thought these secrets were wild, just wait until we dig into Season 2. From soup conspiracies to even more brutal takedowns of real-world icons, the layers only get darker, funnier, and more disturbing. Stick with us at Heroescope as we keep pulling back the curtain on all of the secrets in The Boys. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Heroescope, and let us know in the comments if there are any secrets we missed. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.